Here's what we know so far about the red tide that could be coming to the West Coast in just a few weeks. This is also based on a model developed by Dr. Miles Medina.
Charlotte Harbor between 1 and 3 weeks. Sample map shows nothing, and we can't even predict that far in advance. Or can we? Florida red tide is a common name for an elevated concentration of a toxic species of algae that's
and this will shut down tourism in bad years,
for sure. It can make people sick by breathing it in or eating it through shellfish. Usually our earliest indications of Florida red tide blooms are water samples or dying birds from eating offshore fish that are impacted by Florida red tide. But Dr. Miles
Medina, and that's a big thing, linking Lake Okeechobee to the red tide, because that was debated for a while. They didn't want that getting out there.
By the way, that was a huge deal. It helped the Army Corps schedule releases from Lake Okeechobee to reduce impacts near shore. Well, he teamed up with the Everglades Foundation, and he developed a machine learning model that can give us predictions of Florida red tide blooms up to a month in advance near Charlotte Harbor. And unfortunately, well, the model is predicting.
So yeah, this is over by Charlotte Harbor, where it could be happening in just a few weeks.
Harbor between 1 and 3 weeks. The model is still in testing phase, so we'll see what the accuracy is like between 1 and 3 weeks.
So if this ends up working or ends up being reliable, that could be good for future events, knowing what's coming ahead, preparing for the beaches, preparing for animals, all this stuff to prepare for that area, because red tide can be disastrous for tourism, obviously for health of going in the water, and it is linked to Lake Okeechobee and many other things in Florida that are only increasing with development, sprawl, pollution, mismanagement of sewage by FDEP, a whole bunch of other stuff.